You just had an argument, the issue hasn't been resolved, and now you are stuck in this loop of negative thoughts. If this is the case, here is an audio for you. What I'll explain here is why this happens and how to use this circumstance to become more empowered and make more empowered choices. So first of all, when you have this loop of negative thoughts, this means that there is a part of you that got very distressed by that argument, by what happened in that interaction. And so it's coming to you because it needs your presence, it needs your attention, and it also wants to come out of that distress, so it's looking for a solution. However, because it's still overtaken by fear, by panic, it's very hard for that part to come up with a constructive solution. It's very hard for it to be discerning because it's in a place of fight or flight. It wants to protect itself from the other. It wants to protect itself from these type of arguments. So it goes into very radical choices, like let's just stop this relationship altogether, or that part will blame the other person or you. But the whole idea is that it wants presence and resolution, right? So now what you can do is, if you see that there is this trigger that is coming up over and over again, instead of going away from it, and the way we do that usually is by rationalizing. We tell ourselves we shouldn't be feeling this way, that this makes no sense, etc., etc. And so we are actually abandoning the part of us that is feeling distressed. And we're not understanding or connecting with it. Instead of doing that and separating yourself from that part, and again, we do that because we don't want to feel distress, right? But that doesn't work. So instead of doing that, connect with that part. And the way you connect is by consciously going towards the trigger. So let's say that trigger is an image, or there's going to be a feeling there. Go towards it, bring it up in your mind's eye, and feel into it. Go into your body. Feel into your body. Don't stay in the mind, because it's not going to be helpful in that moment. It's not, let's say, the right organ. It's like saying, I'm going to listen to music with my eyes. It's the same thing. It doesn't work. Your emotions, you can feel them and you can resolve them by feeling into them by being in your body. So you go into your body, you feel, you bring up that trigger, and you just feel it. That's it. You look at it. And you do that over and over again. And you will see that when you do that, automatically that loop will stop. Even the first time you do that, that loop you will see that it will be less and less. That's why I say to do it over and over again until it stops completely. The loop will stop because you've given that part what it needed, which was your presence. It was coming to you over and over again and wasn't seen by you, and that's why it was persisting at it with this negative loop. And so you've given that to that part. You've given your presence to that part. And now what will happen is that from that rigidity and from that protective and maybe even attacking stance, it starts relaxing. And it slowly relaxes into you more and more, and that loop is not needed anymore. It's not going to employ it because it's gotten what it wanted. And once you've gotten to that point, now you are you're more open, and you're open to look at that argument from a more detached perspective, from a perspective of curiosity, where you will start looking at the details that come up without feeling all that discomfort, but with a feeling of openness, curiosity. And you will start seeing what did not work, what did work. The solutions will come up, and incredibly creative solutions will pop up in your mind. Your intuition will be there for you. You will be listening to it. And you will use that situation as a way to become more clear with yourself, clear about what you want, what you don't want in interactions. And you'll also be able to listen to the other person. And you'll find different solutions. And maybe, and sometimes that happens, maybe you'll find out that there's no compatibility between you two. And that's also okay. But you'll be clear about it, and it's not going to come with so much distress. And this is, I love this exercise because it also will take you to this place where you will be less and less apprehensive of tensions in relationships. And so you'll be more open to these tensions. And when I say tensions, I don't mean arguments. There's always a tension in relationships because we're always discovering ourselves through that experience we're having with that person. We're experiencing the other person through we're getting to know the other person through that interaction. And so there's always that tension of going from the unknown to the known, from the unknown to the known, from confusion to clarity. And it's very normal, and it's a very nice tension to be in, because you're like a explorer of yourself and of the other. And the more you do that, the less these arguments escalate, because you don't let the tension grow that much. And also, the last thing, you'll be very clear about your boundaries, and you'll be I think that's the most empowering thing you can have. When you're very clear about your boundaries, you can express them to others, and you're clear with other people. You're safe for yourself, you're safe from others. And yeah, this is an amazing exercise if you try it out. So let me know if you have any questions or any comments down below. Ciao, ciao.